So, injuries for young and amateur athletes. Millions of kids every year compete in athletics in some kind of form, whether it be football, baseball, or any kind of other sport. Me personally, I've been playing football all my life and couldn't imagine myself not doing it. But with all those years of playing football and other sports in high school, it came with a lot of injuries. It was always frustrating to have to overcome the injuries during the rehab process, or just having to sit out during games watching your buddies play. My worst injury I ever had was actually senior year in high school, right before the state playoffs. I went on a 15-yard run and made a cut on my knee, and I felt it collapse. Sure enough, I played the rest of the game, but after the game, I went to the doctor's office and had to get an MRI, and sure enough, there was a slight tear in my ACL. But that didn't stop me until the end of the season because I competed in 2 more games after that. And overcoming the injury was probably the worst because the rehab was really hard. You had to wake up early to be there before school, and that was probably one of the worst processes about it. But no matter what the injury is, the most important thing is to take it seriously and get yourself right, and not to blow off rehab or any other kinds of treatments. Amateur athletes may be nervous to tell people about an injury for fear of being taken out of the sport to recover, but to me, that's not really the case. When an athlete must figure out what their injury is and how they can be treated, the proper physician must be chosen. It is important to do your research, or ask your team doctor what's your next step supposed to be. This all can make and break your injury recovery process by either making it worse or delaying the whole process itself. So you do need to take it seriously. If you are in doubt, go seek medical advice from multiple physicians and get all of their opinions and kind of figure out what the best approach is to do from there. Use these doctors to evaluate your injury and consult them on what you should do for rehab. Once you get your diagnosis, do your research online and see the best approach for getting care would be. A combination of advice from doctors and web-based research would probably be the best bet, as well as getting information from your team trainer and trying to figure out going from there. But you do need to make a decision, and research is only half the battle. You still have to take the action and get on it quickly so that you can get back to the game and enjoy the game that you're playing instead of sitting out and watching all your buddies. The 2 main options that go in recovering from the injury are physical therapy and surgery. Surgery is a great way to recover, but there are definitely some risks. It's a great option because it's definitely a quicker fix, but the rehab probably takes a lot longer, and you have to stay at home a whole lot. But even though it's quicker, it's riskier because it's more dangerous and extremely expensive. Surgery has plenty of risks, and even the most routine surgery could always have negative effects. Physical therapy is another great option if the injury is not as bad, and it's a lot cheaper than surgery and much less painful. The pain of surgery is intense for a shorter amount of time, but physical therapy is less painful after surgery if you're recovering for a long time. The success rate may not be as high as surgery either, because so much of physical therapy is about your attitude and your willingness to get better and to actually show up and be there and know that you have a chance to get back out there and play. Now, after you do all that, you have to plan your recovery time. Proper plans must be taken for either surgery or physical therapy. When deciding that surgery is your best route, schedule the surgery to allow time off from work or class, because recovering is really important for your health as well as to get back out into the competition playing field. Since this is only a few days off from work, this may be the better option than some physical therapy. Physical therapy is usually a treatment where the injured person goes every week for an hour or 2, most days, 5 days a week, maybe take the weekends off to rest. You have to find the time, though, out of every week to get your treatment time. Weigh your options that you did research and plan on doing it. If you decide upon getting surgery, get your process scheduled as soon as possible, because the injury could get a lot worse if you decide to procrastinate and take your time getting the doctor. If you pick physical therapy, though, without getting surgery, if it's not a bad injury, get familiar with the place you're going and the situation that you'll also be in and the kind of environment that you'll be doing the physical therapy in. The most important thing in this whole process is that you need to stay on track and persevere through this process. Both these situations take a lot of time to fully recover, and this may get frustrating. Surgery has all the pain it wants, but the recovery time is shorter. The physical therapy route is an ongoing process, again, if it's not the kind of injury where you need surgery, but it might be borderline. It takes longer to heal, but it's cheaper and safer. Just to make sure to take the process seriously, because there's nothing worse than being knocked out of playing the sport you love so dearly, which thankful I wasn't. If it weren't for the rehab process I've been through, I probably wouldn't be able to continue to play sports, because the tear probably would have gotten a lot worse if I didn't seek treatment right away.